There is no more Pernell Whitaker.
There's no more Pernell Whitaker.
There will be no more.
Yeah, you distinguished that real quick.
Let's make that clear.
Deontay's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Man, oh man. So Roy Jones, he gave his take on the whole Deontay Wilder situation, and Wilder blaming his 40-pound costume on him losing to Tyson Fury. And Roy Jones, he held no punches. Like the majority of people, he doesn't buy the excuse at all. He even went so far as to call Deontay Wilder irresponsible. He said even if that were the case, Wilder was irresponsible for not trying out the suit before he walked into the ring. And then he said if that suit made him that weak, he shouldn't even be boxing. Then he said, I feel sorry for Deontay Wilder. Matter of fact, let me quote this piece. The suit he was wearing during the fight that was 273 pounds, that was the problem. I feel sorry for Wilder because they didn't stop him before this point to teach him more about boxing, end quote. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Roy Jones, he makes some great points. If a 40-pound suit made you weak, then what is a 275 or 73-pound man gonna do to you when he's leaning on you the whole night? I mean, coincidentally, that's about the weight advantage that Tyson Fury had over Deontay Wilder. He was about 40 pounds heavier than Deontay Wilder. So, like Roy Jones said, that was the problem, wearing that suit, that Tyson Fury suit. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, when it comes to Deontay Wilder making that excuse, it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, I see a lot of people making a big deal about it, but if you really think about it, every fighter that loses, he makes an excuse. This is not something new. This happens every single time a fighter loses. And a lot of times, the fans of that fighter, usually they want to support the excuse because it makes them feel better for the loss. For example, Canelo losing to Floyd Mayweather, all of the Canelo fans say, oh, he was too young. That excuse is just as ridiculous as Deontay Wilder's excuse. I will say that Wilder's excuse is probably just a little bit more comical, but it's just as ridiculous. To me, the only legitimate excuse is if you can clearly see that someone injured themselves in the ring or on their way into the ring. You know, if somebody got one of their arms damn near hanging off, or they hopping around on one foot for a whole damn fight, then you could say, oh, that's why he lost that fight. Or, you know, maybe things would have been, not maybe, we know things would have at least been different if that guy had both of his legs, right? So this is, once again, this is not anything new. Fans always make excuses for their favorite fighters losing, and boxers always make excuses for why they lose. Manny Pacquiao, soon as he loses to Floyd Mayweather, my shoulder went out, even though he contradicted himself about 5 times afterwards, saying at first he said the injury happened before the fight, and then once he found out that fans were trying to sue him because they were basically saying, well, if you knew that you were injured and we're betting money on you and we're paying to watch this, we want our money back. Once Manny Pacquiao heard that, he changed his story and said, well, actually, I changed my mind. I was injured during the fight. And then like a couple days after the fight, he was caught scuba diving, and then he told the fans that the salt water healed his shoulder. You see, it was almost like he was just like saying, I don't care if you guys know I was lying or not. I'ma just poke at you guys by giving you another ridiculous excuse why I'm swimming now, right? So at the end of the day, once again, do I believe what Deontay Wilder said? Do I believe his excuse? Absolutely not. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. But once again, it's expected that a fighter will make an excuse for losing because these fighters, they have a lot of pride. It's hard to accept you just got dominated, especially in the fashion Deontay Wilder got dominated in. But the reason why people are making such a big deal about him making this silly excuse is because he's on the coincidental list. And they want him to basically just tell people, man, I got my ass whooped. Man, I got my ass whooped handed to me. I have no excuses. They want him to go out of his way to confirm that he just completely got dominated and he had no excuse for what happened. That's what these fans want to hear. And Wilder, he didn't give them that. The only mistake Deontay Wilder made is not knowing that you have to be Canelo Alvarez, you have to be Manny Pacquiao. Anybody who's not black, you have to be someone like that to use a silly excuse like that. Because we already know if it was one of those fighters I just mentioned, their fans would be filling up the comment section defending the excuse. Saying, oh, come on, man, stop hating. Everybody knows that suit was too heavy. You could watch it in the replay. You could see he was hunched down as he was walking. They would be making all kind of excuses, you know? But at the end of the day, it don't matter what the excuses are because I don't believe them anyway. Like I said, I only believe what I can actually see. I don't believe excuses of, oh, you know, we had a death in the family a week before this fight. I don't even really believe the flu excuse. You got fighters that say, oh, you know, I had the flu and that's the reason why I lost. I don't believe it. I mean, I have to see something different in the ring. If I see a fighter looking completely different, then I may suspect there could have been something wrong with this guy. But if they're fighting the exact same way, like Manny Pacquiao when he fought against Mayweather, where he's still using his right hand just as frequent as he did in previous fights, then no, I'm not buying it. So Deontay Wilder, he made an excuse that nobody believes, and nobody should believe it. It's not a big deal. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.